is John, and I'm going to talk about what I learned this week. So, as far as DevOps go, I think there's two really important topics here. Um, Whiteboard to production as fast as possible with the least amount of mistakes. Production teams are getting really huge, and sometimes these teams are cranking out new features every day. So, it's really important to have a specialist to integrate those new features into their production code as fast as possible. Um, and also, some of these DevOps people, they do very industry specific uh, operations and automation. Like in security, you're going to have your DevOps person doing penetration tests. They're going to do automated tests to make sure that their servers are secure. Um, they're going to consult with their development team to make sure that when they're creating new features, they're integrating security best practices. Like in finance, a DevOps person is going to make automated audits. So audits are really important in finance. They want to have quarterly, maybe even weekly audits, and the DevOps person is going to make sure that happens. Um, Next topic, clean code JavaScript. So this is a really fun repository because it tells you like examples of bad code and examples of good code, and it tells you how to improve that. So for searchable names, let's talk about hours in a day. So 24, right? You can use 24 in your code, but you can't really search for 24. So what you could do is make a constant called 24 hours in a day, and just that's something you could search um, and reference. Another example is delete commented code. So I did this a lot when I was learning how to code, and it's like you write code and you don't really like it, but you don't want to delete it. So you just comment it out and you keep on going. This is really bad because it leaves a lot of clutter in your code. And this is like clutter that you should get rid of, and you should start using Git to keep track of all those changes in your code. And that's what Git's for. Git is there so you can go into the past and see how your code looked like at a specific time. So this is really cool. I'm actually gonna try to make a video on this repository and just explain a little bit of the concepts. Next, I'm learning about event notation and linked lists. It's just like a lot of theory that just takes time to absorb. So I learned about like O of n squared, really efficient with small inputs, but really inefficient with large inputs, and a code that kind of has an O of n squared is like a loop within a loop. Those tend to be really inefficient. Um, O log of n, it's really inefficient with like small amounts of inputs, but when you get large amounts of inputs, it actually becomes um, the efficiency doesn't like decrease. It does. So yeah, best example of that is like a binary search. So with small numbers, you're doing a few steps, but as the amount of numbers become huge, the amount of steps doesn't really increase that quickly. Lastly, I want to talk about linked lists as form of data structures. Um, it's a really simple data structure. That's where most people begin when they're learning data structures. Um, the concept is that like every a linked list is just made up of nodes, and each node has a data portion and a pointer portion. The data is going to contain some data, and the pointer attribute is going to point to another node. So here, as you can see, node A has some data, and and the pointer attribute is pointing towards node B. Same with node B, it has some data, and the pointer attribute is pointing to nil. It's pointing to nothing. But you could just as easily, create node C. It's going to point towards nothing, and then you just change. Change the pointer attribute of node B to go ahead to point to node C. Pretty simple. Okay. So last topic I'm going to talk about is Java slow or fast? This is just a conflicting piece of information that at first I thought like, okay, Java's slow because I went to a meetup and everyone was complaining about how slow Java is. But I talked to another programmer, and they said, well, if Java is being pretty slow for you, check your Java virtual machine and check for memory leaks. This I don't really have much to say about, but as far as memory leaks go, in Ruby, you have a garbage collector built in, so you don't really have to worry about managing your memory. But in languages like C, and I guess like Java too, you have to manually write and erase your memory. So that could be a big deal if your Java application is working slow. It's because you're not keeping track of uh, when you're deleting memory when you don't need it anymore. So again, these are some topics I learned this week. It was a really busy week. I had a lot of phone calls with a lot of different programmers. I appreciate every single phone call I've had with a programmer, and at a meetup too. Like any second I get to just talk about topics like these, I'm really thankful for. And um, I'd say these topics are big and confusing. And you're going to look stupid talking about them. It's just kind of part of programming. And just like even experienced programmers, they say they feel stupid all the time. So I guess um, I say be self confident, but don't be arrogant. Just learn as much as you can, and just that effort of learning as much as you can will put you at least a leg up over most programmers. So that's my little tip of the week. All right, y'all. Have a nice week. Bye bye.